I'm Dustin.
And I'm Chris.
And welcome to another edition of Still Together TV.
This episode is going to be titled 3 Questions.
Woo.
And in this episode, what we are doing is we're going to each ask 3 questions of our spouse. For instance, in his case, he will have to give the husband's viewpoint for that answer, and not necessarily the politically correct answer, what society would want to hear, or not necessarily the holier than thou, we've always been holy and saved answer, but the truthful answer from your point of view about the question. And we don't know the questions, so he doesn't know what questions I have for him as a husband, and I don't know the questions that he has for me as a wife. So this is going to be a pretty good one.
So we might do like 15 takes until she asks a question that I'm willing to answer.
3 questions, you have to answer the question.
And I scaled the questions back, seeing as this is like the first episode where there's more interaction, I guess you could say, or more dialogue, whatever. So I scaled them back a little bit. I shouldn't have. I should have like really grilled her and got some truth.
I'm gonna grill you.
Dang. Whatever. I'm hot already. Like I got lights in my face. I'm.
Don't try to get off the subject. Who's first?
All right. I guess I ask you one, and then you answer, and you ask me one.
Okay.
And I answer, something like that.
I'll
okay.
let you go first.
How easy is it, or was it, to submit to your husband?
It was not. It took me a long time to submit to my husband. We know that the Bible says the wives should submit to their husbands. And let me just explain. Submission does not mean being weak. Submission does not mean being run over. Submission is just allowing your husband to be the man. What does that mean? It can mean a lot of different things, but the man is supposed to be the head of the house.
Right.
Does that mean he has to make more money? No. Does that mean that he has to make all of the decisions on his own? No.
Right.
But what I had to figure out was, because I was on my own so long, I was used to being the head of my house. I was used to running everything. And it took me even after we were married. I mean, the years that we were together and the years after we were married, it took me a long time to finally say, look, my husband has to be head of the house. Mm-hmm. And there are some things that, he had to change too.
True.
But, I think part of me saying I will be submissive, I will allow him, although like I still not control the finances, but I monitor the finances, what bills get paid, what money gets spent.
Bad at it.
But we both bring home the money, let me not say that. But he brings home the check, and he honestly has the final say. What's great about our marriage is he will ask me, like, he won't say, this is what I'm saying, this is the decision I'm making. Right. He'll say, what do you think about this decision? We need a new car. What do you think?
It affects both of us. So.
Exactly. It was not easy for me to give up that independence and that control, because I felt like if I had control of it, that I could make things happen the way they should be. Right. And if I let that go, that things wouldn't be in the right control. Right. So it wasn't easy for me, and I don't even remember when I finally decided I would, but at least for the last couple years, it's been really good. Like, it works. And there have been times when I slip and I'll do something, and he'll be like, you didn't talk to me about that, and I remember that I'm supposed to do that, and I do apologize for that.
And
all the time.
We talked about that, and I think one of the things that make it easy, and I know this is not my question, but I think one of the things that makes it easy is when you can build up that trust factor. When she trusts that I will make a godly decision, a decision that will benefit the family as opposed to hinder the family, then it makes it a bit more easy to submit. One of the things that I've heard before is, well, he don't make good decisions, or he's bad with money, or things like that. And the thing about being submissive is, it's for a godly man. Like, if you got some guy, and I'm not trying to put my mouth on folk, but if there's some guy who's just terrible at making decisions, who lets his mother run everything and stuff like that, then yeah, of course it'll be difficult. So I think that was one of the things that we had to learn, is it was just Chris and Dusty. That's it. Like, no mothers, none of that. It's Chris and Dusty, and Dusty has to make sure that the decisions that he consults with God, and that he carries out the will of God. Like, it's not just about me anymore. I got kids, I got a wife, I'm accountable. So I think that's what makes it a bit more easy. Just waiting on this question.
I told y'all he was long-winded. Okay, so we'll move on to the next question. Okay. And if you have comments or anything about that, please let us know. Tell us. Let's discuss it, everybody.
And then, I'm sorry. In the she hate when I cut off. She be ready. But
you do it all the time.
In the comments, please be oh Lord, specific, not Pacific. Specific as to what your question is, or what your comment is, and what it's directed to. Like, if you say that sucks, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I won't know what you're talking
what you
about.
Think sucks.
Right. So, or I shouldn't have said that. So if you say that's great,
Either
or that's
one.
Awesome.
Either one.
I prefer the awesome one.
Yeah. We know you're not gonna say it.
Right. So if you say that, make sure to be specific so that we can address it, or we can respond in a proper manner, as opposed to just saying, oh, okay.